All right.
And
I
you
think
need
we're
the pre-show one.
all right. Yes, I'm going to get that one.
Oh, sorry.
All right. We are running a smidge late tonight.
Have enough to do.
And that's just been the way things are lately. I'm going to turn the camera off for a minute.
Okay.
And then I'm going to turn it back on, and that should reset.
There you go.
So that should be going.
Yep.
All right. So that's set there. This is set here.
Here we are.
There we are. And I didn't do my hair, so you're going to have to excuse me tonight. It's been a day. Okay, so let me hit record here.
Yes, please.
All right, test 1 2, test 1 2. We are running, and this is going well. Hopefully you guys can hear us.
Because that would be this last thing we need.
Amongst other things. All right, I'm going to put my mic up just a little higher. Yeah, basically what happens is this has just been the past couple of weeks of stuff happening.
Yeah, and I went to sign on, and I was like,
where's the
chat room? Am I on the wrong website? He goes, no, what do you mean?
No,
where's the chat room?
It's fine. What do you mean there's no chat room?
And I said, there's no chat room. And I'm scrolling up and I'm scrolling down. And he said, oh, man.
Yeah.
That's not exactly what he said, but, it's close enough.
The generalization of it was that.
Oh, man, yeah. It was.
All right, so we are streaming. Good. Okay, that's good. That's always good. I like that. So, yeah, and so basically within the matter of a couple of minutes, I had to go through and go to Chatango, find out that they've actually made some changes. Nobody tells us anything anymore. So basically, I had to go through, reconfigure a chat room, get the code, embed it into the website.
The code.
Get the website up.
Canadian just then.
And then just a code.
Uh-huh.
Like I get a code in my nose.
Yeah, you sounded very Canadian.
Very Canadian, eh?
Yeah.
So that's my upper Michigan.
That's your Michigan
talking
thing,
in there.
Yeah. You're getting very stressed, and then your Michigan comes out.
All right, so I'm going to run a little test here just to make sure. Hang on.
It's funny.
All right. Yep. It was just. It's one of those things where we're supposed to be on in 2 minutes.
Yeah.
And suddenly things weren't working. And that, of course, drives me.
And then he didn't get to do his hair.
Yeah, I didn't get to do my hair, so I'm looking a little rough. And just, I hate when things go wrong. It's interesting. So, yeah, the Chatango made some changes. I had to update the code. The chat room may have a slightly, how off is it feel for things? Is it working all right?
Yeah, it looks weird, but
it's got a different.
Every time somebody says something, I hear a pop, like a Facebook pop.
Okay.
See, like that.
Okay.
I'm like, that's fine.
Is that coming off of your computer?
It may be.
You might want to turn off the sound.
Why?
So that we don't keep. Yes, because every time somebody makes a statement, you're hearing and going from there.
It only bugs you.
Yeah, well, that's me. So anyways,
whatever.
That's how that fun stuff goes. And welcome to the GeoSnippits Reboot Podcast patron pre-show. Cut a little short this week. So, yeah, it's amazing when things don't go right, because especially if it's something where, you're supposed to start in 2 minutes.
Yes.
You have this issue that's directly going to affect the viewers watching the live feed.
Yes.
You don't know what needs to be done to fix it, but you got to pull that rabbit out of a hat as quick as possible.
Yes.
Go. And that's basically what we did. So yeah, literally.
Actually, I just sat here and drank coffee and talked to Amanda.
I need more caffeine. So yeah, so when it's a technical issue, talk about thinking in the field, because that's
and
just
barked at the dog.
And barked at the dog is yeah. And it was and that's the other thing. When things go wrong with any of the computers, and we've got monitors, we've got laptops, we've got tablets, we've got all sorts of stuff laying around. Something goes wrong, I am crazy going nuts Cray cray, I believe, is the term, or is that old now?
I don't know, whatever.
And
we've already decided
the only hip we have is a replacement.
Yeah.
So when something goes wrong, any slight distraction,
oh, he is,
I go ape cuckoo, because there is nothing more crazy than trying to, and I'm sure a lot of other people have that same
what do
thing.
I do?
She's sitting there, hey, Amanda, hey, Emmy, hey, whatever. And if I had an ice pick, I would resolve the issue. I'm just saying. Oh, my gosh. Oh, that is not the time to do that. That is not the time.
Depends on who you ask.
Oh, my God. So yeah, needless to say, it's been a little rough. We ran out of about 12 minutes late, and we apologize, but that's what the pre-show is for. When things go nuts, we can try to figure it. Now, just to set the stage for next week, next week will be the 30th. On a Thursday. The day before is Windows 10 Day. So
yay, Windows 10.
Yeah, so basically what that means is that the anybody that is signed up for Windows 10, unbeknownst to you, but beknownst to them, have been slowly upgrading your system by downloading stuff in the background. So when you actually go to install it, it should take, and this is a quote out of what I read from them, it should take somewhere in the neighborhood of 20 minutes to an hour, depending on how old and beat up your computer system is. So that's what I'm hoping for. I'm going to do it first thing in the morning on Wednesday, because I got the Geocaching podcast that night anyways.
They found the colors.
Yes, they found the colors. That's, I actually kind of like it with the white background, so that way I can do too. I can see it.
I can too. Even with the dark colors, you can see it. Yeah, they do like the dark. They like
the dark colors, and in black background, it's like,
I can't even answer. Yeah, I can't even answer that with the dark colors. I'm like, don't even talk to me in the dark colors.
Yeah.
Anyway,
so that's where we've been with everything, and just made it interesting.
No, I don't think
you have to work Windows 10 on your Mac, but it is a mandatory upgrade for everybody on a PC.
Yeah.
A mandatory upgrade.
I'm good.
There are no more operating system levels anymore.
I'm good with that.
Matter of fact, after a extended period of time, Windows 10 will just be known as Windows.
I'm good with that.
I'm sure they'll have some background name for. There's got to be something in the source code that says your version's from this date and it's this particular version, as opposed to this version and that particular date and that. So there's going to have to be something in the background. They're just not going to identify it.
I went into work today after being off yesterday.
Yes.
Told you I was going to get a new computer.
Yeah. How'd that go?
Dude, I went into work today, turned on my computer. I was like, oh, it's a new tower. You have a desktop, whatever. And I keep trying to get him to give me a laptop, but oh well.
All right.
So I turn it on, open up all my stuff, type in my little password. Everything's going groovy. I try to look for my email.
Oh, you get to get all that fun stuff reconfigured. Yeah.
And I'm thinking, I don't see my email. Where's my email?
Do you have Outlook or something?
I did.
Okay. That's now gone, right?
Upgraded my Outlook.
Yes.
And now it looks different. It took me 5 minutes to find my stinking email. Going, oh, I hate this. So now I have an upgraded email. It doesn't look anything like I did on Tuesday.
Yeah.
I have upgraded Microsoft Office.
Everything. Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm like, everything was fine. Why must you upgrade everything?
It's going to happen again. It'll happen with 10. And that's where I think and again, I'm not going to make this into another.
Yes, you are. You already did.
Gearhead type thing. No offense, Daryl. But it's going to be the computer apocalypse coming up on next week. So stay tuned. We'll have it live. And if we can actually broadcast it, it'll show
It is so they can install spyware.
Yes, absolutely.
Spy software.
They do anyway, so it's like it's all a conspiracy.
Whatever.
I'm just saying.
If they are so interested in what I'm doing,
I was going to say if they want to
need
check
something
out,
else to do.
if they want to check out all the geocaching stuff that I do and they don't already,
if they want Jamberry or Cincy, then all I got to do is ask.
If they need another selfie of me, I'm sure I will find something for them.
They don't have to look far.
I was going to say, you really don't.
2,000 selfies of
2, rookie.
I may have 2 pictures of me.
Tens of thousands of selfies over the years.
I may have 2 pictures of myself.
Yeah, Taz, I do too. I actually remember DOS 3.0. Does anybody anymore remember higher memory? Do they even know what higher memory is?
No.
Okay, so basically, you're starting to start the computer. You're starting the computer, and you want to have just enough information loaded up so that the computer will start and run correctly. All right. So, like, say for example, you wanted to play a game, which is where most gamers learned about high memory.
It's where you learned about higher memory.
Basically, what happens is you had, I think it was 640K, which fit on a floppy disk. All right. Yes. You had starter disks. If you had a particular game that you had to tweak every ounce of memory to get that puppy to start, that's what you did. And in that, you loaded these files, and I think it started with a start batch.
Yeah.
So with it, and you had 640K in the upper memory from 640K to 1 meg. You had to literally take things out and rearrange and do some coding and all sorts of stuff to get as much memory of that 1 meg to kick off for that particular game to run. And that's
punch cards. Yep.
Yep.
I actually remember punch cards.
I in college, I remember punch cards.
I remember punch cards because my dad had punch cards where he worked.
Yeah.
And we would play with them.
Yeah.
And had those mammoth, I remember the tapes.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Kmart, when I worked at KAH in Troy, Michigan, a lot of their stuff was done on paper tapes.
Yep. We had the punch card. He had the punch cards, and I wanted them because I thought they were so cool. I don't know why, but
you would go through because your entire program had to be written out, and you're talking a couple K tops.
And those big mammoth screens, black screens with the green, the green.
Yeah, the monochrome.
Yeah.
Memories.
Yeah, I actually, when I was 19 years old, 150 years ago, typed, actually where I worked, they had those computers, and I actually worked on one.
Yeah. Yeah, monochrome. I remember in college, this will date me really good, they didn't even have monitors. You had dot matrix printers.
Oh yeah,
that was it. There was no monitor. You would type in; it would type up on the printer just before you
started working with the county. We had dot matrix printers.
Yeah, yeah.
To print out our stuff, and those things were so stinking loud. We had to get covers to cover them. Yeah.
Now Taz is in the chat room is talking about the cassette tapes for the TSR 80. I had the Atari 800 computer, and the 130XE, I think, was the one after that. Tapes were interesting.
Oh, Rick is hilarious.
What's that?
He said he remembers when you had to write on a piece of paper and place it in an envelope and put a stamp on it and wait 3 days for.
Oh, come on! Let's not go back too prehistoric here. That's just terrible. Where people used to write in cursive.
Oh, bite your tongue. I'm going to do that. I'm going to write somebody a letter and see what happens.
It's funny because they mentioned a TSR 80. I saw a TSR 80 melt because of it working on a arithmetic equation. It overheated the processor and melted.
Oh, wow. I actually listened to this isn't backdating anything. This is actually current, but I actually did the Siri thing with the 0 divided by.
Oh, did you?
0. Yeah.
Yeah.
The Cookie Monster thing. That was hilarious.
Yes. But yeah, I mean, cassettes were terrible because what would happen is You would put the cassette in the cassette drive. It was obviously hooked up to the computer. You hit record, it would hear and go through all the stuff, recorded on the tape, and you had to remember the number on the tape for when the program started and stopped. So if you could do, you either didn't want to overwrite the program that you always had, so you did like, if it ended at 120, the next program you would turn on would be at like 220, so that you didn't override the original program. And if the tape was off one click, it wouldn't load the system at all. So yeah, that, oh man, the memories with that. Yeah. Remember the carrier pigeon. Yes. So yeah, computer stuff's interesting. And yes, we don't always talk about computers, but we are definitely in a computer situation, especially when things do not work right. And
yes, and he gets all bent out of shape, and it's kind of fun to poke him periodically.
Yeah, I'm sitting here trying, okay, what do I need to do? What do I need to do? And she's over here going, bark, 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 bark. And I'm like,
He's like, I don't need this right now.
Oh, yeah, my daughter, my sweet, wonderful daughter, who has been busting her Kentuckus, doing several major projects right now on her own, doing very well. And she wanted to say one little thing, and it's like, just leave me alone.
He goes, Amanda. And she looks at me, and she was like,
oh, I go nuts. I was like that in support when I did support stuff for companies. Everybody knew if I was on like a level 2 job, the CEO of the company is screaming for craziness. They just would leave me alone. There was a blast zone that they were not allowed to come around until I resolved whatever issue it was for that. That's just how it is. Now we're talking party lines. Yes, party lines are awesome. I remember
don't know party
those.
Lines.
You don't know party lines?
No.
Do you know what they are?
I know what they are. I never had them.
Yeah, I had one in, okay, this is 72
but
when I moved to
remember
Baltimore.
If you count somebody listening in on the other phone,
yes,
in the house,
right,
as a party line, but that was only because my brother wanted to hear what I was saying.
Now that's similar, but that's the same phones in the same system. You can't even do that anymore.
No, you can't.
Yeah.
And he would actually tape record my phone conversations.
Oh my God.
Mad?
Yeah.
Woo, you don't tape record a teenage girl's phone conversation.
Cat Biggins, we can't talk about those type of party lines on the show. I'm sorry.
Yeah, well. Oh yeah, no, we can't do that. No. No.
All right. Hey, I even, out of all that craziness, I actually remembered to hit record. So I'm up on myself here.
Yeah.
All right. We got about
NSA
2 minutes.
Invented that program. They wanted everyone to carry around
a tracker to log their location, feelings, and political opinions multiple. That's called Facebook.
Yeah, really.
Oh man, the pig trough of the internet. I can't stand Facebook.
I know you hate Facebook.
Oh my God, let's just take things and multiply it exponentially and throw more crap on top of it and see what other people will eat.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my God, please.
It's and I freely admit I am one of the most gullible people in the free world. I really am. I believe a lot of things that I really shouldn't.
It's on the internet. It's gotta be true.
Now that I don't believe this. I don't believe that. But I do believe a lot of things that I really shouldn't. But some of that stuff on there, I look at it and I'm like, why would you do that?
Yes.
And it just makes me laugh.
Yeah. It's amazing. It's technology these days. And if you think you've got privacy,
whatever.
Yeah.
If you don't want it known to the rest of the world, you probably don't want to do it.
Yeah. Put it on the,
you don't even have to put it on the internet.
No. And even then, that doesn't even count because all your general records, your public records, all
everything's
that's out
on there. Yeah.
Whether you want it or not.
If you don't believe you're on the internet, Google your name.
Yeah, full name in your state, and you will be surprised.
Be shocked.
Yeah, there's a couple of programs out there that you can go on the website and look it up, and you will be shocked of like, I didn't know so and so was married to so and so. Yeah,
I've done that before with me, and it will list every place every town you've ever lived in.
Yes.
I'm like, Oh boy.
Yes, and there's a lot more things like that. Yes. Okay, so I think, by the way, folks, thank you for stopping by for the pre-show and listening to the ramblings.
Talk about geocaching at some point.
Ramblings of people when computer stuff goes bad. That's all part of the fun. So it is 8:30 something, and we are about to start up the show. I think it will be a good thing to do, and we shall go from there. All right, let's hit some buttons and get some things going here. I'm going to put this up here. And we will be all set. Now that I've had my coffee and I can relax. There we go. That goes there. So you're going to have a good show tonight. By the way, thank you, folks. If you're brand new, we're not always like this. Just most of the time, I'm just saying. We actually do talk about geocaching, and we are so glad you're here. And yeah. I'm going to push this button here, and we're going to start. There it is. GeoSnippits Reboot Podcast is coming your way right about, I'd say now. Well, hello, and welcome to the GeoSnippits Reboot Podcast. I'm your host, Andy HeadHardHat Smith, and I am with the wonderful, the delightful, the DeWitty, yes, I will poke Andy with a stick even when he's about to explode, wife Amy. How you doing, darling?
Fine.
That's good. As verbose as always, it is July 23rd, 2015. The next hour or so, co-host wife Amy, the HeadHardHatress, and I'll bring you some interesting information and tidbits about the game, the sport, yes, the obsession known as geocaching. So yeah, good stuff.
I need to be in the Mafia house.
Why do you need to be in the Mafia house?
They're having Philly cheesesteaks.
Oh.
Right?
My favorite. Okay, now we have to ask, since they brought up this whole thing, and you need to find out while I get on some of this other stuff out of the way. What do they actually put in their Philly cheesesteaks?
She needs to send me a recipe.
Okay, because I am a Philly cheesesteak connoisseur, and
great.
You can tell, the different changes. Now the only
my phone just died.
Okay, good. The only thing.
It's like, I don't care.
There is only really one, maybe two good Philly cheesesteak places down here in North Kakalaki. It's not like up north. Up north, I can name 10 different Philly cheesesteak places that will blow your mind.
Whatever.
Down here, they try.
Whatever.
I am just saying. So I'm going to be curious what they put. And now that everybody's going to be going hungry,
y'all try very hard on some stuff too.
Yes. Now, Bible Man Rick, who's also in the chat room, asked about, did anybody get their different the 3 different road trip souvenirs? And I'll give you the dates here now that we actually have it here. June 19th, and all this ends on September 2nd. June 19th is find a geocache with 10 or more favorite points to get that particular souvenir. On July 3rd started the attend an event, mega event, or giga event, not CETO. So attend an event, mega event, or giga event. We have not done ours yet.
No.
I've got a couple planned, but
do we?
Yeah, it's just not as soon as we've had some stuff come up over the past couple weeks, and it's kind of delayed things. The one that started just earlier, in about a week ago, was on July 17th, was find a T5 or D5 geocache. So we have one of the 3 right now is where we're at. And we're hoping to get that. We've got stuff coming up this weekend too. So I don't know. We're going to try our best to see what we can do for that. But I'll tell you what, just to let you know what the reason why we haven't really been going out geocaching, when you look at the thermometer on the side of the house and you go, whew, it's only 93 out. You know what it's been. It has been
Yeah.
Horrid hot.
Yeah.
And
I mean, it's not as hot here as it is some other places.
No, Taz has got
it worse
down
than
in Texas. He's got some searing hot, but we've had heat indexes in the 110 area,
and
just
no.
I don't like geocaching where I can literally hear and or smell my bottom of my tennis shoes melting on the concrete.
Nope.
That's a little too warm for me.
Nope.
I'm just saying.
Ain't happening.
So yeah, a little bit hot.
Sign my name.
Yeah, so we're gonna sign my name. Wow. That's how it goes. That's how it goes. So yeah, we're gonna try to get those in the next couple of weeks and get caught up and go from that part. But yeah, it's just been ridiculously hot this year.
Yeah,
I think it's been the last time it was this hot is when I moved here, like 7-8 years ago when they had the 500-year drought.
Yes,
that was hot.
Yeah, that was hot.
Man. All right, so good stuff. Even with the technical difficulties that we had to modify the chat room at the very last second.
Yeah, I like this one better though.
Okay, we're going to keep it like this then. If the people want it a little taller, a little longer, we can do that as too. Just tell us in the chat room.
Yeah.
Amy will pick up if you want a slight adjustment to it. I can't make it wider.
I like it taller though. But
I can make it. Is this actually taller than what it was?
No, I would like it taller.
Okay, so I'll make it taller for the next show.
Yeah.
So literally they had problems with it and I had to fix it. Long story short, we talked about this in the pre-show. By all means, go back and check out the pre-show, either audio if you're a patron or video on YouTube, and you'll be able to get all the details of the heroin, the really bad harrowing bad. Thank you. I only had one cup of coffee.
Wow.
of literally being 2 minutes before the start of the show and wife Amy going, "Hey, we don't have a chat room." So yeah, that was a lot of fun. So anyways, you say to yourself, how can we get hooked up with this show? They're crazy. They're wild. They're a lot of fun to watch. And we love to see trains wreck all the time. This is the show to watch. If not, Geocaching Podcast on Wednesday nights at 8:30. Just 10 or 9:30, I should say. Anyways, so how can you watch our show and generally get in touch with wife Amy and Andy? It's very simple. To watch the live feed, you can join us in the chat room, which is now working, by going to www.geosnippits.com on Thursdays at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. We also have all our social media links, including for you to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Two things that you need to do. Out of all the social networks, we're in all of them. You'll find us somewhere. Matter of fact, if you go to the upper right-hand corner of geosnippits.com, you'll see all that there. It's easy to find us, link, and hook up with us. YouTube channel, every time we do a podcast, every time we do a vlog. Yes, we have a bunch coming from our trip to Michigan. I just haven't had a chance to get to them. Those will be coming out soon. Anytime we do anything on YouTube, if you're subscribed to us, it automatically, once they're published, goes into your subscribe button. Bucket, I should say, and you're able to see them anytime you want. If you want them to go into your subscribe button, that costs extra. I'm just saying. Let's see.
You're just having
I had
talking issues.
Yes, which is because the coffee's starting to kick in and the tongue isn't going as fast as the brain. So that's how that goes. That's where guys get in most trouble. I'm just saying. So anyways, we also have, again, all our social links on geosnippits.com. and any of the other websites that are under HeadHardHat Productions. So make sure, subscribe to your YouTube channel, get us into your Google Plus circles, because we put a lot of questions and requests for geocachers information through Google Plus. And as long as you're hooked into that, you get those and you can participate in the background with us, so that when we prepare our shows, we get fresh information right from you fine folks, which is awesome. And we thank you for that. Finally, we have our voicemail line where you can call in your questions, your comments, or suggestions by calling 919-341-9519. Or you don't even have to do that. All you have to do is go to geosnippits.com, especially for our friends who are overseas or don't want to get charged extra for the cell call. There is a send voicemail tab on the right side of the screen. Just click onto that, and you get up to 3 minutes on your cell phones, your tablets, your laptops, your computer with a microphone. Let us know what you want to tell us geocaching related wise about the show. And milestones, places you've been, different things that you've accomplished, comments about past shows. Let us know. And that way we can incorporate that into the show as well. Now, we don't have a verbal this week, but what we can do is we've got viewer feedback. And Miss Amy, if you would, I'm going to try
from
real
Jersey
quick.
Eric.
Yes, I'm going to see if I can get this up on the screen because I literally did not have time to do this. So why don't you explain what that is, and I will see if I can get this.
Some of his photographs from his geocaching adventures near Forestburg, New York.
Yeah, and they're really pretty. And I the people listening to the podcast, they're going, well, wait a minute, we can't see the pictures. We're going to have a link in the show notes that will have the pictures themselves. And I'm going to see right now if I can get this up.
Bing said he did a photo.
He did a photo as well? Okay, that's good.
He said that was for you.
Oh, awesome. That's great. So I'm gonna do the ones that I have here for Jersey, Eric, because I have those ready. And I'm gonna see if I can bring this up here. I just had to get up the link. And again, we'll have a link in the show notes for that. I just got to get to it in the, there it is. All right. So
there it is.
I'm gonna bring that up, and then I will share the screen. And this should work. So that's what I'm going to do. Hang on one second. And I'll bring this up.
There we are.
There we are. I'm going to share a screen. And it's going to tell us to do, is that it? Spotting the, one more second. I may have to get rid of one more thing here. All right.
Yeah.
Let me get rid of that and then retry it.
Bear with us.
There we are. And the one that I'm looking at, actually his, as I mumble to myself.
See, this is what we go through.
All right. So let me get to this. There that is. And I need to cancel that out. Sorry for the delay, folks. I'm just trying to get this. I was going to try to have that, and it's not going to let me do it. I hate when it does that. Anyways, all right. I tried my best. We will see. Maybe if I put this on a separate, that might work. Let me try one more time. See, this is all the fun of doing a live show this week. There it is. Let me see if it lets me share one more time. And
there it
is. All right. All that for that. I just had to figure out the nuances. Okay, so you should be able to see this on the screen. Tell us if you don't know. I don't need to do Jeopardy theme music. Thank you, Captain Biggins. All right, really pretty some pictures here that Eric writes in here. It said, spotted while caching near Forestburg, New York. Can you see the old stone arch in the shadows of one of these pictures? I'll show you the one in a second. It's the theme of this park and grab cache, which is GC41W3B, to make you stop and notice the old railroad arch. And this is actually what it looks like.
That's pretty.
That's pretty. Nice little stone bridge in the background. That goes with that. He also has some pictures of the waterfall that is nearby, which is nice shots, by the way, Eric. Good stuff here.
Mm-hmm.
And then finally, this is what I found most interesting of the three pictures that he had included. It says Stephen Crane's Pond. We're at the home of his brother Edmund, the author of The Red Badge of Courage, lived and wrote in the early 1890s. So that's a very cool marker. I love that.
Cool.
That is some interesting information there. So Eric, thank you so much for sending those in. We love those kind of pictures. Please, by all means, send stuff like that in, because that's
nice.
Good stuff. All right, that sounds good. Let's see. I want to make sure we're not sharing anymore, and I don't think we are. I believe we are all set. All right, good stuff. I think it's time to move on here. Good things. Our GeoSnippits Reboot Podcast Geocaching Poll of the Week. This one was a good one. It was a simple one. It was an easy one. We got 1 million hits on this thing. And we'll, again, have the poll information in our show notes. And it was as simple as this. The geocaching question was, what is your favorite geocaching size to find? And this was good. It was interesting. But the results are exact opposite of what I thought they were going to be.
Really?
Yes, and I'll tell you why in a second.
This doesn't surprise me at all.
All right, so wife Amy, why don't you go ahead and from lowest to highest, let's do that.
All right. The 2% is a micro. 5% is other or unknown. At 15% is a small. 28% is a large.
Okay.
And 50% is regular.
Okay. Now, most people will say, yeah, that why does this surprise you, Andy? It's what surprises me is that even though these are the favorite sizes to find, the ones that we actually find the most are exact opposite to that. With the least ones we find are larges and regulars. The next least we find are smalls. And the ones that we find the most are micros. So why, if everybody wants to find all these other ones, the most hidden are the exact opposites? So that's the question I pose to you fine folks.
They don't want to find the micros.
They don't want to find the micros, yet that is the most hidden geocache. Now, I do understand there's saturation, there's placement and having it being found, things like that. But I would think...
just because they hide them doesn't mean that people will want to find them.
I know, but doesn't that contradict itself? Doesn't that make sense that if the things that we want to find the most are the, should be the ones that are the ones that we hide the most?
Yes.
And it's the exact opposite.
Yes.
Thus the pair of ducks.
That means people who are hiding micros aren't hiding things that people want to find.
Exactly. Take note. That's my whole point right there. That was my whole point.
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah, I'm serious. It's literally...
Thank you for putting up the Wyatts.
I have no idea what they're talking about.
Creepy family. What are we talking about?
I don't know. But anyway, so that was the poll for the week. That was interesting. We've got another good one out that went out today. Yes. You can check it out by going to Google Plus, or if you go to geosnippits.com, on the right side of the screen, you can see where we have the poll of the week there as well. All right, good stuff. Let's move on. Tonight's episode is brought to you in part by cash-advance.com for all your geocaching needs. Cash-advance.com. Go find it.
And also by coinsandpins.com, the best place to get custom coins, geocoins, lapel pins, and patches made. Go through our GeoSnippits links and use the promo code HeadHardHat for a 10% discount. And FYI for our listeners, you can sign up for their newsletter to get notified of when new coins and patches are available for sale. We're also very thankful to all of our sponsors. And if you want to see more of their products, be sure to go to our GeoSnippits websites and simply click on their logos. Not only do you get great deals, but it helps our program as well.
Absolutely. Moving on. Yeehaw! Yep. July 2015 Mishmash episode. GeoSnippits Reboot Podcast episode 121. Now, today we kind of took literally a mishmash. We've had several requests over the past month or so dealing with things about GPSr units. And even though obviously, for a large population of the geocaching community now, it is much more favorable to actually use your smartphone and go that way. The debate continues on what works best and what works best for you. Only you can really answer that. But there is still a huge draw for GPSr units. I honestly feel they are more, very much more focused with and more accurate when it comes to being outside. They have much stronger antennas than what you would find in a smartphone, and they are extremely useful as a backup, if anything, if you're out in the woods or in an area that you are unfamiliar with and you really need to either find that geocache or get out from where you found said geocache. So we have several requests from people over the past couple of months about some items to go over with GPSr units. And if anything, this is going to make a really, really good refresher for you to go over and to consider as we go through this. Now, one of the first things we're going to go through tonight, we're going to discuss geocaching routes, tracks, and GPSr basics. And tonight, the first one that was asked literally the most is planning a geocaching destination route. And there's really, and again, I'm going to try to get geocaching.com up here as quickly as possible for you fine folks. And that way you'll be able to actually see it for the people watching the show live or the video. And for the people listening, we're going to be as descriptive as possible so that you're able to actually see this. So give me half a second here. I think I've got the routine set up, and I will get us back on share and pick that up. Oh, awesome. I love it when it works right away. Okay, so now what you're looking at, when it actually works, when it does what it's supposed to, that is awesome. All right. Here is geocaching.com. And all you have to do to plan a route is very simple. You go to geocaching.com and you click on your geocaching alias, which is your name in the upper right-hand corner. And if for some reason you can't see this, guys, let us know and we'll go from there. You also go to, and all these steps are going to be in our show notes as we go with this. You go all the way to the bottom right, towards the bottom, and under user routes, you have click a route. You click onto that, and it's going to give you this very simple search area of a from and to. So where you're going from and where you're going to. Now, they start out in Seattle, Washington. I'm going to do something a little closer to home. So I'm going to put in Raleigh, North Carolina for us in the from. And one of my favorite places to go.
That's not how you spell it.
Oh, it's no H. Okay. And then Wilmington, North Carolina, which is right off the East Coast beach, just above Myrtle Beach and a couple of the other places down there. You put in your from area, you put in your to area, click search, and it's going to give you a map with a point A and a point B. And with this, you can actually zoom in to see your route. Now, most of the route for us is going down I-95. Or I-40, I should say, which goes down to Wilmington. The nice thing with this is if you really want to zoom into an area that you want to detour around or get to.
You can go to Turkey.
You can go to wherever you want with this. And the kicker is all you got to do is it'll create a white button when you highlight with the cursor over the blue route. All you have to do is put where the white button is, click and hold, and you can actually move the entire route to where you want to go. So it's very convenient if you want to make changes to adjust that route.
I've been to Turkey.
Have you now?
Yeah.
It's delicious.
It's not a whole lot there.
It's not a whole lot there. So that's one of the things you can do with this. Now you say, why adjust the route? What I highly recommend you do before you do this whole setup of planning your route on geocaching.com, get the device that you are going to go through and actually use to plan your route. So if it's a GPSr unit, if it is your smartphone, if it is one of those like a Nuvi where it's an actual auto GPS, put the from and to into the GPSr unit first. See where it's going to take you, because they use different algorithms for each one. And what'll happen is you may have your route on your GPS unit saying go this way, and there might be some subtle changes. And so if you know what the route is on your GPSr unit, then you can come here on geocaching.com and make it match by adjusting your route. So it's very important that you test that first so that you're doing routes. Because I've had that many times where I'm like, but it said to go this way, and it's not. And then that part of the route's completely screwed up for you. So make them match between your GPSr unit and between the map on geocaching.com. When you get it the way you want, on the bottom left-hand corner here is your save area, save changes. You're going to click that. And this is where you can actually go through and edit the route and get the final information to personalize it for you. Now that blue route is now turned to red, and you can no longer adjust it. So that's why you want to do it first before you click Save Changes. All right. After that, you can do all sorts of things like name your route. It comes with the way that the default is if you route, it'll do whatever day that you actually did a day and time as the route name. Put in whatever personalized thing. Usually the from and to is what I usually would put. So I would have from Raleigh to Wilmington and put that in for the name. It'll show who created it, which would be you as the alias. It has a nice area to fill out the description about the route and also the keywords that if somebody else wanted to look up, it will actually come up. You can make these public, especially if it's a popular route. And
yeah, like that one is.
And they can actually use that for that as well.
Yeah.
There's a little check mark down here that says include into a public directory, which would do just like I said. When you have that complete, you can save the route or delete it if you don't like it. You save the route and it's done. You can look it up anytime you want. Now, below that are a couple of links that you really want to keep note of. This is something that I use all the time with this. The first link below Save Routes is Create Pocket Query of Route. That is so beneficial, because what happens is you can save this entire route, and you can even fine-tune it a little more in the pocket query. And save the route, and you will always have it as a pocket query. You don't have to create, reinvent the wheel each time. You can create it into a GPX route, which is nothing more than a giant list. So you can turn it into a GPX file and use that into your different devices or applications as well. Very handy, very nice to use. And basically that's it. That's all that's involved with these different ones. You save the route and away you go. And so that's
or don't save it.
Or don't save it. So that's what we've got for that for creating a route. It is no big deal when it comes to stuff, and very simple to do, and it's a lot of fun. It really is. You can come up with some stuff. There are some limitations, and I don't have the exacts. There's a number of miles that you can do. I think there's a 500-mile limit. So there might be
you couldn't go cross country or anything.
Right. So what I do is, like, if I'm heading up towards Michigan, what I do in a case like that is
more than 500 miles.
Yes, she knows this now. If you if you pick a halfway point, like for me, I would pick Charleston, West Virginia as a halfway point. You do a route from Raleigh, North Carolina to Charleston, and then you do another one from Charleston to, in my case, would be like Ann Arbor. And then that way that you've got two routes, but they both fit the entire amount of miles. So good stuff. All right. So thank you very much for making the suggestion on how to create a route. Very good stuff. Now, as far as GPS basics you need to know, there's some terminology and some different things that you might need a little refresher about because it does come up a lot with other geocachers. And let's just go over a couple of them. Marking a waypoint. Now, do you happen to know, my dear, what a waypoint would be? And I love asking you when you're drinking your coffee. What's a waypoint?
A point away.
All right.
From where you are.
Give me. Okay, so give me an example of what you would consider a waypoint.
I don't know.
Oh, okay. Well, it's very simple. A waypoint. Why didn't she say so? I knew she didn't know the answer. That's why I asked her.
That's because I wanted to see if you just take that and say, okay.
Yes. Basically, a waypoint is literally saying this spot here on a GPSr map. So a waypoint could be And how
did you know I didn't know? I could have known.
I kind of had a good feeling about that. But basically, ouch, waypoints are sets of coordinates that identify a point in physical space.
Away from you.
Away from me. Coordinates can vary depending on the application.
So I was right.
Yes.
Technically.
For terrestrial navigation, these coordinates can be longitude and latitude. So some of the waypoints that are very important for you that you really need to do. And if you don't do this one, I'm just going to leave that there. She stuck out her tongue. One of the most important ones that you're going to want to consider of a waypoint with your GPSr unit is your car's position.
You and Bible Man Rick agree.
Yes. Well, Bible Man Rick's very, very smart and intelligent, good-looking man.
He is very smart.
Yes.
Yeah. What you and he think of your looks,
I
will leave between y'all.
That's okay. He's a smart man.
He is a very smart man.
If you do not remember to mark your car, you're going to get a nanner poo-poo at you when you are out and going, where is my car? Now, this works. You can do this on your smartphone.
I do that in the parking lot.
If you've got a GPS unit, you mark this location. They even make little car icons that you can sit there and say, oh, there's my car. Do this before you get on the trail anywhere. I do this when I go to a big game at the auditorium. I'm sorry. If you go to a large auditorium,
yes,
or some huge event,
yeah, because you
mark
no way you're
going
to find your car.
Right. Mark your car. And it's just as important when you go geocaching because you're going to get lost.
Yep.
And you're going to be late. The flashlight batteries are going out and you are trying to figure out where your car is and you haven't got a clue because you didn't mark it. Nanner, poo poo.
Yep.
So anyways, just saying. Another waypoint that's very important are trailheads and cross sections of trailheads. Now, a trailhead is the starting point of a trail. She's over here all being looking at the notes. So yes.
Dude, it's a trailhead.
Okay. Start your trailhead because what happens if you're even in a park, if it is a situation where you've got a lot of intersecting trails that go all over the place on the park, having each one of those intersections marked and having that trailhead mark is going to save you a lot of anguish when you do that. Because if you don't mark it, especially when it's getting late and you don't have where your car's marked and you don't have where you walked over to get to the trailhead because it's not always
I hope you brought a tent.
It could be a very uncomfortable evening for you. So marking your trailheads is very, very important. Now, there's an easy way, and I'll get into that in a second. Let's move on to the next one. We'll go from there. A point of interest. What's a point of interest?
Something you might want to see.
Something of interest to you to look at.
Some you just might want to see.
Yes. That was very bad Southern. I'm just saying. So anyway, see.
What?
You can go through
and you're such a good judge of that.
Mark a point of interest. It could be a marker for something historical. It could be a place you want to put a geocache. It could be just about anything you possibly want to do. And see and go back to.
Yeah.
Marking a point of interest is a very good thing to do. And you can do that on any GPSr. All right. Let's move on to some of this other stuff. Tracking. Now, if you have the intelligence and the foresight of marking where your car is, you will also, if you're going in an area you are not very familiar with, turn on your tracking on a GPSr unit. Now, tracking is basically, I call them electronic breadcrumbs. It's wonderful, it's easy, and it will save your life if you do it correctly. And these breadcrumbs will not get eaten by birds as you go along. If they do, you've got some pretty nasty birds, I'm just saying. But basically what happens is you turn on tracking. From that point on, that GPS unit is going to literally draw a line everywhere you walk. And if you're on a trail system and you're going through trail blue and you get onto trail yellow and you go onto trail green and you need to find your way back, all you have to do is click on tracking again, and usually there's some kind of button that says return to home point. And what it'll do is work just like a GPR is supposed to. It'll say, you are here, you need to get back where this trailhead started, follow this literal line that's on your map on how to get back. And it is a lifesaver when it comes to going through an area that you don't know where you've been. One of the worst cases scenarios you can be in is you're a half mile from your car. You marked where your car is. You've gone through this trail system, you've zigged, you zagged, and you get to the point where you start heading back to your car. It tells you right where it is. It'll point that nice arrow right in the direction of where you need to go to get to the car, and suddenly you got a swamp in front of you, or you've got a mountain or a holler that is directly in front of you. Did I turn left at this point? Did I turn right at this point? I have no idea. Elevation's another thing you want to consider with GPSr units, because if you are in a hilly area with a lot of different cliffs and hills and things that you've climbed up and gone down on, that GPS unit's going to say that car's half a mile that away. But where did you go? Because you didn't have tracking turned on. So that is why it's very important to have tracking, because it gives you the exact path of what you went through to get from where your tracking started to where it ended and how to get back. Very, very helpful when it comes to GPS. And again, this is something that you usually don't find on your standard smartphones. So that's why GPS units are exceptionally good when you're out into the wild. Now, the difference between tracks, which is created as you go, are routes. Now, we just explained how you make a route for your car when you're geocaching to find geocaches on your route. Routes are predefined paths that somebody else has already created. Their tracks become your routes, is how that works is. So what these are great for are trails. If you have a trail system that you want to go through, what's the best path to go to get from point A to point B? A lot of hikers have routes that they create that they've designed themselves as they go through this to get you through whatever, forest or woods or whatever you're going through. So routes are already pre-made. They're literally the tracks of somebody else and how they got from there. Routes are awesome when it comes to making it easy getting, especially in a lot of the heavier terrains, from one point to the next. All right, so that's tracks, that's routes. the nice thing about all those is they're all savable. You can put them on things as simple as, Google Earth. There's a lot of mapping systems out there that go through that you're able to do with that as well. Good stuff, and things that are usable for you and helpful for you, and a lot of times lifesavers, because there are times nobody wants to panic out in the middle of the woods, not knowing where they're at and how to get back. So these are great things to have. That's why GPS units are still my favorite to use when I'm out in the woods, even if I'm not necessarily using it just for geocaching, but just to have that as a safety measure of getting from point A to point B, because I get turned around real easy, and you don't want to do that when you're out in the middle of the woods. All right, one last thing that we've got to go through that we want to go through that somebody requested is, could you please explain how GPS waypoint projections work? Now, I'm going to ask you, and I honestly don't expect you to know the answer, but I would be curious. Do you know what a waypoint projection is?
No.
Okay, fair enough. If she didn't know what a waypoint was, I guess waypoint projection wouldn't have been a good question to ask. Just saying.
You're a genius.
I know. I'm a legend in my own mind. Usually. So this is what what you want to do for GPS waypoint projections. Basically, what happens is for puzzle caches, especially mystery caches, these are awesome. Even multi-caches. This is awesome. You might come up to a set of coordinates, excuse me, and suddenly you find a little container, and in the container it says go so many feet northwest for X amount of distance. So for 100 yards, go northwest from these coordinates. Now, you can kind of figure that out if you've got a compass. Most smartphones really don't have that type of nice flexibility to do waypoint projection. And basically, the idea what you want to do for waypoint projection, you need three things. You need the original coordinates that you're starting from. You need the bearing. And you need the distance in your GPS. The different models of GPS units are going to have waypoint projection in different spots in their menus, but it's there. All you have to do is find project waypoint or a wording of such. And you put in the coordinates where you're at or where you're supposed to start. You put in the bearing. So it's going to be a number of degrees. So it's 270, 180, 90, 45. It's going to be a bearing on the compass. And you need to put that in. I'm sorry, am I keeping you awake?
No.
Okay. I know this is kind of dry, but it's good
45 degrees?
Yeah. That's good. What direction is that?
What do you mean, what directions? 45 degrees.
Uh-huh.
You were saying degrees, so I just said 45 degrees.
Northeast. I'm just saying. I'm messing with her. See, she likes messing with me all the time. I like doing that to her. Only when I do that to her, she gets mad. When she does it to me, it's ha-ha, tickle, tickle. I'm just saying.
No, you said you were talking degrees, so
right.
I just picked a number.
Yeah, very good. All right. Anyhow, let's get through this. So you pick your bearing on the compass that you want to go, which direction you want to go, and you put in the distance. So what'll happen is when you hit save or whatever the go button is, okay, whatever it is, it will then make a waypoint on your GPS unit, and you follow that waypoint like you would any other one. So you put in your original coordinates, your bearing, your distance, it'll make a waypoint on the map, and you just go follow it like any other geocache. And that's what projection waypoint is. So there you go. Simple as that. No big deal. No major mystery. It's just a simple set of calculations on the GPS unit to do. All right. Good stuff. I think that's about it. Anything interesting in the chat room?
I think Ping and EDM are going to take an orienteering class.
I highly recommend an orienteering class. I'm still trying to get in touch with the Scoutmaster that I bumped into a while ago that specializes. One of the county parks here actually has an orienteering class where it's actually got different areas and things to do permanently set up in the park strictly for orienteering. So I am highly looking into it. I recommend that to anybody who's geocaching, because when that GPSr or that cell phone goes out and you've got that manual compass, you can zing right through there just as easy once you know what you're doing.
Yeah.
It's very cool. You learn about sighting and all the other fun stuff. It's a lot of cool things.
Yeah.
Visions of Boy Scouts is coming back in my head.
Then you can talk to him about that.
Yes, good stuff. Actually, I'm going to try to get them in for a show to go over orienteering. So that'll be a good thing. All right, Miss Amy, I think we are about done with this. We hope you enjoyed the information about GPS units, and we are going to move on. Let's do that.
Your support helps keep all the GeoSnippits Reboot shows running along. Please consider making a PayPal donation through the link on our website to support our efforts and your ongoing entertainment. From all of us at GeoSnippits, we thank you.
Oh, yeah. We love you. We really, really do appreciate all the donations that you bring in from the GeoSnippits Reboot Podcast universe. It is greatly appreciated, and all of it goes to the show. If you have not considered already, please consider becoming a patron. It's literally $1 a week to come through. It's just for how many weeks that you do it. That gives you the different type of awards that we have. We have a Path Tag reward. We have a patron pre-show, or we have a pre-show that we put out as a podcast.
For whatever that's worth lately.
It's been good. It's a little shorter when things aren't going bad, but
it's the tech show.
It's good stuff.
Lately.
We got a lot of interesting information.
Yep.
We're going to start doing our quarterly hangouts again and start getting that going. I kind of miss doing that.
Yeah,
it's good getting with the people.
I do too.
But we wanted to find the right amount of time in between. Every month, I think, was just a little too much for everybody. If we do it about once every quarter or so, that gives a chance. It makes it a little more special, and that way more people can jump in on it for each quarter instead of trying to make each month.
Yeah, I think I'm
so that'll work anyway. So anyways, all these are nested. So the more weeks that you do, the more rewards you get. And it's awesome. All you have to do is on the right-hand side of our screen, just click on Sponsor Me on Patreon. And also any of our HeadHardHat production shows have that as well. Click onto that. Mm-hmm. It'll take you right to our webpage. And literally, it's $1 a week. It's just how many weeks you want to continue. And for the people that do it constantly, all year round, thank you so much. And thank you to everybody else for all the other contributions that you do with the patron program. The big bills are starting to come towards the end of the year, and we're going to need every penny we can get to do that. We have bills each month as well. And for the patrons that we have, literally, it's keeping us going and literally keeping the lights on, and we can't thank you enough. All right, let's move on. All right, it's time for the GeoSnippits Geocaching Cache Dash. Let me explain what that is. We have some of the best companies in the geocaching world, and they quite frankly want to tell you fine folks about all the products that they provide. So what they do is they send us these little geocaching care packages, which is like Christmas for us because we get to see all the goodies. We don't get to keep them, but we get to see them. Anyways, so that gives us some time to enjoy and see what's available for your fine folks, because we take all those products and we turn them into prizes and we give them to you each and every week. So for this particular one, wife Amy, we've got episode 120, and what was the prize?
From Cash Advance is the Space City GeoCoin Fest GeoCoin.
Right. Now, this isn't I found out from Lisa that this is not the actual coin itself that they had at the event. It is a replica. In other words, they made another version of it. and sold those as well.
Mm-hmm.
And this is really a sweet GeoCoin from Cash Advance, and that's the prize we're giving out for this week. Thank you again, Cash Advance, for donating that prize.
Mm-hmm. And the question was, the equator line separates the north from the south on our planet. Which line separates the east from the west?
Right.
And the answer is the Greenwich meridian or prime meridian. Yeah, that's one I've learned. Separates the east from the west in the same way that the equator separates north from the south.
Okay. So that's how that is. Let me get in here because I didn't get a chance to get into it yet. So I'm going to do that right now.
I don't know why not. I don't know what you were doing in here.
I was a little bit pulling my hair out of it. I'm going, I forgot something. What should I do?
Forgot you need a chat room.
Yes. So I thought that was
I was like, where's my peeps?
It was much more behooved to be.
He said, what do you mean?
To get the chat room going than it was to get the figure out how many people that
really
we have.
Just don't know what to do without a chat room.
Yes, that would drive wife Amy crazy.
I gotta.
So what I'm doing right now is I'm pulling up all the answers for last week, which would have been episode 120, and I'm going to count them out now. Forgive me for half a second here.
He said that how many times tonight? I think 3 now. Forgive me for half a second.
That's it. Ooh, a lot of people. Kidding. Okay, so we've got that. So here literally is all the correct answers that we have in for that particular episode. Don't try to make up.
Do you scratch your knee?
I kneel all the time because of my jumpy legs.
Oh.
I'm a kneeler. If you ever see me in front of a computer, which I doubt you'll be in my house and see this, when I work, I get jumpy legs, which means I either have to stand up, which is very uncomfortable to try to type, or I kneel in front of my desk, which is a little more to the height of actually when I sit. And I kneel on my right knee, and it's got a callus. And right now, my wife is...
I'm like...
is realizing I've got a callus there, so that's how that goes.
He's like, no,
that's what I've got here. So I also have a random number generator. Thank you, honey. And it goes between I'm kidding, 1 and 18, which is the number that we have for tonight. And I hit random, and so that comes up. I now have that number. I am going to bring up the total number here of all the correct answers as I ramble on. And wife Amy, if you would flip your magic GeoCoin.
Oh, sorry.
And she's going to flip her coin. It's either going to be heads or tails, unless she's got a coin I'm not aware of. And if it's heads and say the random number is 4, it's not 4. I would count down 1, 2, 3, 4, and that would be the winner. If it's tails, I'll count up 4 from the bottom of the list, and that'll be our winner. It gives just a little bit more randomness to the show. Are we going tails down, heads up, and what are you laughing about?
I can't say.
Okay.
Tails. See, I can't say.
I can't say that either. Looking at the chat room and Memphis Mafia, shame on you. Anyways, I wish I could do it that way, just for fun. I'm just saying. This is an inside joke. I'm just saying. Very inside.
Ooh.
Heads down, tails up.
Tails.
Oh, of course. All right. All right.
Oh, mercy. That's funny.
All right. So let's see. Is this it? Let's see if we got the right answer. Okay. The winner is, and I'm going to put this down here, and I'll put it so wife Amy can type this down. The name that I have on this is Baytown Mom. Baytown Mom, you are the winner of that fantastic GeoCoin. Congratulations.
What was the number?
13.
Okay.
I'm just saying. So anyways, Baytown Mom, you are the winner of that fantastic GeoCoin. And Baytown Mom, if you would be so kind as to send us your address, and send it to gsreboot@gmail.com. And then that way we will go through and send that prize out to you as soon as possible. Mm-hmm. And again, all the prizes are going out over the next week. So you'll be getting yours, all who are waiting so patiently. Thank you. for that, and the prizes will be coming out now. So congratulations to Baytown Mom. Miss Amy, if you'd be so kind as to tell what the question is for this week, episode 121. Matter of fact, you know what I might do? I might tell the fine folks how to actually be eligible to win this. They might need to know that.
Mm-hmm.
All right, to be eligible to win the geocaching cash advance, what am I thinking of? It's going right on my head. GeoSnippits cash stash. I'm going to start drinking more because
coffee.
Yes, because it's going.
It's because you didn't do your hair.
All right, for you to be eligible to win the cash stash, had to turn on my big boy voice. All correct answers must be in by 12 noon Eastern time on Wednesday, July 29th, 2015. Email to gsreboot@gmail.com. That's gsreboot@gmail.com. Subject line Q1, episode 121. All correct answers will be put into a drawing. Some weeks for the people in the live chat room will have a second prize. Sorry, folks, not tonight. We try to do it at least once a month. And we do kind of give a little incentive for people to come and see the show live. And so not this week, but we still might. We got a couple more weeks of July left.
Actually, we have
one more week. So we just never know. It might be next week. All right, wife Amy, now please, could you tell them what the question is or the prize is for episode 120?
I will do both. How about from Cash Advance? It is the GeoGlobots Glow Cubes.
These are awesome.
They are very cute.
This is
I like them.
Really revolutionary, and I really like this. You get, what do we get? 3, 6, 8 of these little glowing cubes. Now, basically what happens is pretty much for every hour of light they get, they stay lit that number of hours.
Yes. I mean, they glow, you get expose them for 12 hours. They get 12 hours.
You get 12 hours.
Glowing.
Yes.
Right. So,
which make great markers for going out for night caches.
Yeah.
And going that way. Mm-hmm. Very good.
Yep. All right. The question is, America has the GPS satellites. What are the Russian satellites called?
One more time.
America has the GPS satellites. What are the Russian satellites called?
Okay. There's a name for the Russian satellites. Send that in. Get it in by Wednesday, and you will qualify for this week's drawing for episode 120. All right. I'm sorry, 121. I'm bad. Yep, episode 121. All right. I'm going to fix this on my show notes just so that this is correct, so that I don't mess myself up for next week. So, yes, episode 121. And there. Good stuff. All right. Good luck to everybody, and we will see what the answer is. Let's move on. Okay, we hope you enjoyed the show. We sure did on our end. I love doing tutorials like this so that people that want to learn more about how to do something in geocaching, they get that information so that it interests them to hopefully go out and get a GPS unit of themselves and find out how much better geocaching you can actually do with a GPSr unit now that you have some of the basic knowledge behind you. Really, really good stuff. All right, so let's wrap up this show. We love having you here tonight. We hope you enjoyed it. I'm trying to go through the notes here. It's one of those times, folks, and thank you, Amy, for backing me up there.
Sorry.
I love that. Please consider becoming a patron. Send us some money, please, so that we keep the show going. Honest, it gets better. I'm telling you. Sometimes we're off a little bit. Sometimes it works better than you expect. You always get a good time out here, especially for all the fine folks that are in the chat room, apparently talking about pie. So, yes, good stuff.
That's a good picture.
Oh, picture. I thought it said pie.
No.
Of us with
you.
Ping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
awesome.
DDM.
Yeah, very cool. Yes, and also you can send pictures while you're in the chat room, which people here love doing. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
All right. Please consider becoming a patron. Again, throw money to us. We love you for that. Tell other geocachers about our show so they can go, hey, you can't believe what these two do on a show. I'm just saying. Good stuff. And yes, Amy sometimes actually knows certain things about geocaching as well. So that's always a good thing.
Very few.
All right, Amy, close her out.
Thank you for our sponsors and to our sponsors, Cash Advance and coinsandpins.com. And thanks to Andy HeadHardHat Smith. Thanks to everyone watching in the chat room. Well, please keep those comments coming in. We'll see y'all next time. Absolutely. Special thanks to wife Amy for doing all the things she does on the show, like mumbling to herself and reading the chat room and laughing a lot without letting us in. So it's the voices in my head. So yes, good stuff. That's for another pre-show. We'll go into that. All right. Lots of good stuff coming up in the not too distant future. So please stand by. You'll hear all about it in the next couple of weeks, because I don't have it in the show notes at right now. Just saying. So like we love to say in the GeoSnippits Reboot Podcast studios here in Raleigh, North Carolina. See you out on the trails, folks. Bye-bye. Please be sure to join us each and every Thursday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time for another episode of the GeoSnippits Reboot Podcast right here on the GeoSnippits website at www.geosnippits.com. The video version of our show is available on YouTube, and the audio version is available on iTunes, Stitcher, Blueberry, the Tech Podcast Network, and many of your favorite podcatchers. We love hearing from our viewers and listeners, so please leave your feedback by emailing us at gsreboot@gmail.com. Visit us through our social media sites or contact us via our voicemail line at 919-341-9519 or use our website Send Voicemail tab. The GeoSnippits Reboot is a HeadHardHat production and is produced by Amy and Andy Smith. This show is copyright 2015 by Andrew C. Smith. All right. Resolved. And clear. Wow. You know, if it wasn't for pulling my hair out of my head trying to make sure the chat room was working, it has been a couple of weeks worth of technical difficulties that have been absolutely mind-boggling to me. Different things going wrong that absolutely shouldn't have. And like I said, next week, next week will be smooth as silk, and then I'm expecting the apocalypse to happen with Windows 10. So I am just saying. But anyways, thank you, folks, so much for stopping on by for the GeoSnippits Reboot Podcast. We're glad you're here. We had a good time. And again, I hope you had a good refresher about GPS unit terminology and how they work. If you've got other questions, which half these were from viewers that were in tonight's show, please send them in to gsreboot@gmail.com, and we will get those in our next Mishmash episode. All right. It is time to wrap this puppy up, and I'm going to bed. You guys have a great time out there, or watch Sharknado 3, whatever happens. Oh, he had to record that, and I heard that it was really good. Was it? I heard that it was. All right, that's surprising. So we'll have to find out. Well, good is relative. Okay, it's got the Hoff in it. Come on, how bad can it be? Oh, it can be really, really bad. Actually, the one thing that I watched Sharknado 3 that I want to see out of anything is how many different celebrities get et by sharks. I just love it. There's just nothing. It's so bad it's good. So yes, I'm gonna probably go watch Sharknado 3. Come to think of it, we'll see how many IQ points that I don't have anymore. Yeah, you're gonna lose some brain power. Good stuff. So be safe out there, folks. The weather's crazy. It's summertime, and we want you safe out there. Of course, that's for the northern hemisphere. Otherwise, it's wintertime, wintertime down in the southern hemisphere. Either way, at any rate, be safe, have fun, and we will see you next week. Wow. Yeah. Bye-bye, folks.